important thing, right, that I don't think Carr can get his head around. And it's not the fact that he can't get his head around it or understand it if it's explained to him. It's the fact that he doesn't like it and he can't take it and he can't handle it. That's the difference. And that is all down to personal bias, opinion, and non-impartiality. It's all down to what you want rather than what is the fact and what is the truth or what is the law. What you want and what you don't want often gets mixed up with fact and truth, right? Now, the thing with the underlying institute rights that all the rest of the law has to be in line with and compatible with, all of the current legislation has to be compatible with and compliant with the foundational statutes, right? And the First Amendment, which is copied over from the Bill of Rights, and what it actually means. It hasn't been changed. No one has changed it. So when you get the full, complete meaning of it in context to when it was written and why, always question why. You have to ask hundreds of questions, why around it, and when and why, to get the answers. If you don't question when and why and how, you do not know what it means and why it meant it. And when both of those bills were written, there was no police force. There was no force, the entire police departments, the force, the regime, who are now literally the army of the politicians and of the CPS and of them themselves, their own army under the police chief's rank and file. The laws are created and were created for the people, we the people, right? And I'm going to present this in an American context, right? It is compatible with current American law. The laws are there for the people, and we're meant to elect people to represent us in the government. The laws aren't there for the benefit of the police, for the benefit of Carr, or for the benefit of anyone in Congress. They're for the benefit of the people. And there was, when those laws were written, many of the laws are enforced by the people, like hue and cry, because there wasn't a police force. And that's the problem with the police force taking over now. Now, there's one thing that Carr needs to come to terms with, and that is the fact that police are offenders. The police are offenders. And all of the legislation governing the police is assisting offenders. It is helping the police break the law on a daily basis. On a daily basis, the police are criminals. They're career criminals. Their job is crime because they break the law. They break the law every single day, all day, on a daily basis compared to the average citizen. And we label them good. Good, aren't they? Good. Because they are here to serve and protect, to assist us, to help us against bad people. So in order to do that, they have to break the law. They're criminals, they're offenders, right? Now, that job, when those rights were written, when our Constitution was written, when the Bill of Rights and the First Amendment was written, okay, we all did that. There wasn't this, these are the men in uniform, the special reserved, the special boys, the special unit, the good gang, the army, the, men at arms, the mob of Carr, the mob of the prosecutors, the mob of the senators, right? There was none. The people, we are the badasses who uphold the law, right? We uphold the law. We report the crime. And the law, we use the law to do that. We use the law. That means we break the law. That means we can be offenders when there is someone offending, right? Because that's how it works. The law comes into effect that you can be a bad boy. You can break someone's door down when there's a bad guy in a house or some drug dealers or something, right, Carr? Now, how can it be possible in the reality of the world where suddenly your door is being bashed in by some men? And the door is being broken into. It's been bashed down. How is this happening? It's a panic situation. The door is being bashed in. Oh, it's the police. They've just run my door down and caused hundreds of thousands of pounds of damage. Right? How is that possible? Oh, they're good. These are good people. They just did a good thing because they're coming for you because you're a bad boy. Right? Who says that? Who decides that? The law, right? But if we don't have a police force, right, then who can do that? Well, anyone who happens to be pursuing criminals or believes there's a crime is engaged, can use that, can pick it up. So that's anyone, citizens, right? And they can, pursue them to court. Proceedings, try the information to an authority, right? Now, what Carr needs to come to terms with, he really needs to come to terms with this, right? When you are choosing to bring a case and get involved in a case and acting to get a law made or changed that everyone will then be compliant with, right? That all the laws might get changed, or there's a very serious problem somewhere, or you don't want something to be built or something, right? You suddenly are in pursuit of a higher purpose. It's beyond normal local crime. It's beyond the neighborhood. It is above criminal law. It's above civil proceedings with a plaintiff, with a grudge with a neighbour. Because you are suddenly doing something more important than local crime. You are engaging in a higher purpose. And you are then a goody-two person. And that is why the right is enacted to protect you with immunity, right? No matter if you're smashing someone's door in or whatever, you are in pursuit of a higher purpose. Now, what Carr can't get his head around is this. His little uniform boys, his little goody two-shoes boys, right? They're kicking people's doors in on a daily basis, right? They're tasering people to death on a daily basis. But everyone labels them. Biden gives them a pat on the head and walks down the line and polishes the boots and puts the medal on the chest and gives him a pat on the hat. Aren't they a few good men? These good, brave souls. They're after a higher purpose. And look, here's a piece of legislation. Police, in the pursuit of crime, no one can obstruct them. It's an offence. Right? Oh, can exceed the speed limit. Do not have to observe it at all. How much by? Oh, by whatever you want. 10 million miles an hour if the car will go fast enough. They're a good boy. They're not a criminal. You might as well even like fucking Marty McFly at the traffic lights, have a race. I'm a police officer. See if you can catch me. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Well, you catch me if you can. Who can go fastest? Two speeding men. Who's the good boy? Who's the bad boy? Who set off first? This is the thing that Carr, he just doesn't want to accept it, right? Now, people can choose to engage and assist. Now, who says that this group of people, this cause, this case is a worthy cause? Who says it is a good cause? Well, all the people who sign it on a surmounting basis, whether it's 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000, it's growing, right? So we the people, we, the people who have signed, believe it's a good cause and we support what is being done and the people who are being involved, right? Now that is in opposition against your police, your goody two-shoes guys, which didn't actually freaking exist when those laws were made, right? There was no such thing as a police force, right? It didn't exist, Carr. There is no boys in blue. There is no Carr's boys, Carr's men, Carr's clan. The offenders, assisting offenders, his good old the unforgiven, the breaking the law on a regular basis, as that's my job. My job's breaking the law, right? Carr, it has been decided by government, federal government, based on laws here, exactly based on them, precisely based on them, and to mean that and nothing else, Carr, right? That we are not to be regarded as criminals in connection with those activities, Carr. Those activities, non-commercial engagements in politics in pursuit of getting the laws changed and made, or opposing something higher than local crime, higher than civil disputes, right, Carr? It's not criminal. It isn't to be construed as crime. It isn't to be attempted to conjure up charges or bring in charges or try and label it or reterm it or redefine it as any other charge or try and fit it into any other charge, because it is protected, Carr. You can't take legal action. And if you attempt to take legal action, if you attempt to change the terminology to try fit your jigsaw puzzle piece in there to get charges, it is a subversion, Carr, of the fundamental liberties and freedoms of the realm. Now, the problem is, since 1688 and 17 whatever, we've got a problem, because the government have got themselves together a nice little gang, a nice little regime, which is not we the people upholding the laws, we the people watching out for criminals, we the people reporting on hue and cry. It is, Carr, a rank and filed regime under sergeants, generals, lieutenants, commanders and chiefs, Carr, who follow orders from one ultimate higher direction, which I see that seems to be you. And that person is starting now to decide that, they don't like these people changing the laws. They don't like these people opposing the little Carr's assisting his offenders, assisting his police offenders, assisting his daily offenders, his daily criminals, his criminal gang, his career criminal police unit. He doesn't like people attempting to deny them of their new training facility when it's we the people's law, in fact, not theirs. And now we've got a problem, because Carr is trying to conjure up offences and trying to fit in offences and trying to jigsaw puzzle offences in to label them as criminals when it's not commercial activity. Racketeering is specifically fake, fraudulent, false or manipulative, coercive, threatening activities through a large network that's operating, pretending to be criminal or pretending to be commercial through crime. It's not actually, as soon as you go away from commerce into politics, it is protected. And that's why we've got criminal politicians, because like Rees-Mogg on GB News when he's not supposed to be on there, like Boris Johnson. And this is why all the politicians get away with it, except now they're pulling Trump in on these charges as well, right? You're trying an information, you're trying a case when you are petitioning. It is a legal proceeding. And you need to read the history, Carr. And you need to read the history, the whole history, and nothing but the history, and question the history. You can't do it by just looking at now, because you're trying to base. People are operating on rights that were invented a long time ago, but those rights haven't been changed, Carr. No one's changed them. No one's reworded them. No one's edited them. No one's changed them. You don't know what they mean, and you don't know why they were made, and you don't know what they covered, unless you read the history, the whole history, the full history, the entire history, and nothing but the history, Carr. The history when no such thing as your bad boy police officers were just a figment. They didn't exist. We weren't assisting offenders. We didn't have a dedicated full-time law-breaking force where, they were conjuring up, a career out of it. People engaged in this higher purpose where they could break the law without being criminal, whether rebellious behaviour in public, speaking in private about matters that may have been illegal about certain religions and so forth, speaking in public, handing flyers out, annoying the public, when no such immunities existed until afterwards. So why would you create the immunity when people were doing this rebellious behaviour in public? Why would you invent such complete immunity? They could have worded it any way they want. They use one specific word, Carr. All. All means all. All prosecutions from Carr. That means if you get the law book out and list any offence that you can be charged with when you are referring to the word all, Carr, that means all of them. Every single freaking one of them. Without one single exception, Carr. That means the amount of charges you can attempt to fit in are zero, none, no charges, zero offences, none, nothing, zip, Carr, nothing. It means that they have assumed they are policing the policy that they are bringing. They are bringing a policy. They are policing that policy to stop Cop City. And policing that policy is policing the action at the construction site, policing the woods, policing the forest. The public are policing the policy which they are putting through. So you've got a standoff situation because you want to build Cop City, they don't. They are now badass police officers, Carr. They are the badass police officers. They are career criminals. From the day they engage in that petition, Carr, they are the bad boys. They are the badass bad boys. They are lawbreakers. They are career criminals until that petition's finished. And they will boot doors in and whatever they do, because we say they're good, because they signed that bit of paper, 100,000 people, we the people, say that they are good, the little good guys, the policing, they are policing to stop Cop City, Carr, and you cannot accept that is the fact and truth. You've got yourself a police force of citizens on patrol, Carr. And they are not chargeable with zip, zero, zing, diddly squat offences. None, nothing. So you better get your sparring shields out with your police, Carr. Because when these laws were made, your police force does not exist. It is not even a figment. It is nothing. It is zero, zip, nothing. We are the police, Carr. And you cannot get your head around that because you don't want to accept it.